This is Fred Beck from Fred Beck's Fighting. I'm joined for the first time ever by Kalle Sauerland. I covered your
Fred,
first.
how are you, mate?
I'm good. I'm tired. I'm good.
The Tower of Power of Misfits boxing in central London. How do you find it?
It's very nice. I never go to any. I'll go to a lot of media places. They never offer you a drink or food or a desk
We've
to
got
your
a
work.
bar here. We've even got a Guinness bar here, which I haven't tried yet. I've got to try the Guinness bar. I do love a pint of Guinness, but no, we've got everything here. You've got Haribo's, everything you need, really, don't you?
Before I leave, I'll pack up my whole bag and then dip.
Do it. There's loads of great Haribo. Oh, the best collection of Haribos in London.
Love it. Love to hear it. What I was about to say is, I covered your as a reporter. My first ever boxing show was one of yours. It was a Harvey Horn one in York Hall. Where he got knocked out.
It was 001.
Oh no!
So no, Harvey Horn, really? That was
He got knocked out in the main event.
that was York Hall, no?
Hall,
Yeah. With the development series card.
Yes.
Yeah.
Back in November of 2022 or 21.
I didn't know you did traditional boxing as well. I thought you liked the guru influencer of crossover. I didn't know you were at that show, really. Okay.
I put the groundwork in. We put the groundwork in at the start. That was before all this existed, to be fair.
Yeah. Well, Misfits was in the planning. I think JJ, Mams and ourselves had announced that we were doing something in that space. If I remember correct, it was around that time.
Oh, you did that little iPhone announcement that looked really bad.
It was the one where Mams called me on a Sunday afternoon. I can't remember where I was on planet Earth, but so basically I got an iPhone, did welcome to Misfits boxing.
You're like KSI, like that.
JJ did what? Yeah, KSI. Yeah, you remember it. Yeah, no, I just remember it now as well. But that was my little spin. I put K.
It was like really blurry, and like one of the shots was like a landscape, and there was a portrait.
It was terrible. And I said, "Are we sure we want to do this today?" He said, "Yeah, we're going to go for it today." But it's it's typical Mams, heart in the right place and on his sleeve. And JJ did his, Mams did his, and I'm like, what's going to come out of this? And it was on a Sunday. And then I remember I was flying like Monday lunchtime. I was in Germany, I think, in Hamburg. And then I've just seen that, like, I think JJ put it out first. And I was like, what the hell? Like, Twitter's just blown up. Like, what is this? And it was our more or less homemade video of, hey, we're Misfits Boxing. And everyone's like, what the is Misfits Boxing? Right, and here we are, 5-year DAZN deal, and 007 next week coming up, and couldn't be more excited.
It sounds pretty good.
It's great watching you progress from 001 to 007. I mean, you've aged a bit already.
Have I? You still want to look young. You still want to look young.
Part of the journey, eh? Part of the journey. Yeah, that's what it's about.
I was going to say, last time I was at these offices, it was on the 11th of May. It's the day after my birthday. I remember coming to these offices for the Linus Udelphia Denzel Bentley press conference as well.
Yeah, Channel 5 event. Yeah, also traditional boxing. You really did do some homework here. That's very impressive. Okay,
I did a lot of pro boxing before this.
Did we do a piece that day?
No, I've never interviewed you ever.
Really?
No.
Wow. Okay, that's cool. Okay, good.
We'll see if the people like you or not in the comments.
First one on my couch. Excellent. That's cool.
So let's get into it.
Yep.
You're the man for interviews. Mams was like, you should interview Kalle. He loves interviews. I was like, okay,
I thought
we'll see.
Behind this. So what does he want? What does Mams want? Ask the questions. I'm sure they've been staged. I can't wait to hear them. I'm getting nervous now. Whew.
Let's talk about some cards. I'm curious. I know that we could go into the 007 card. Let's look a little bit beyond that at the moment. Let's go to 009. So you got 008, which is in Nashville, and 009, which is in Berlin. Are you going to have any German influences on that? Any German people? Or is that all going to be people who have boxed before?
What I'd say is, watch this space. I'm not going to say give away too much. Berlin is definitely on the cards. Whether that's 09 or there's something slipped in between, you're going to have to watch this space. You're going to have to give us a couple of weeks. We've got a big week next week to get out of the way. But there are going to be German influences. We're looking at Scandinavians. We obviously had Nick here up in Telford putting on a great show as well. We've seen some fantastic viewing numbers out of Scandinavia. Looking at that, really. Australia, very high up on the list. South Africa, very high up on the list. Spain, very high up on the list. So, really, yes, there will be German influences. Yes, there will be Berlin. but there might be something little tweaked in the order.
Okay.
So please don't go out and book flights on exactly those dates, because we are Misfits. We're a bit mad, and of course we got everything. Everything revolves around also what DAZN is doing, and we fit our dates together, plan them together with them. So we're sitting down next week and working out exactly, because we do have a little bit. The world tour's big that we put out, but actually it will end up being bigger than that. So that's what I'll say right now.
What happened to the Australian card? Because the January card that went 005, that was meant to be on Australia, but then it was changed because you launching. I guess the issue was you can launch Prime in Australia, and then you're gonna put the card on when you're launching Prime and have a big show in Sydney. But how come that was put to halt?
Well, first of all, to make it clear, they were launching Prime. I'm not Prime. I'm very happy that Prime's our partner and sponsor.
Very happy.
But of course it helps when there's, I saw the Prime launch it looked like the Beatles had arrived in Australia. I don't think that when Prime was launched in Australia and JJ and Logan were down there, I thought, and honestly, it looked like something like the Beatles had arrived. I mean, the TV pictures, when I read 120,000 people on the street, and people, you often get that on social media. I'm thinking, what? 120,000 people, and then I'm like switching on. I'm sitting there, walk onto this balcony, and there are literally probably more than 120,000 people on the streets. It was great to see, but ultimately for us to do a Misfits down there, actually I promoted a show in Australia on the Gold Coast last year in a World Championship fight in traditional boxing. It's a place that I love promoting anyways, and we'll go there. We need the right. We need the right card for down there, I'd say. The idea at the time was a little bit maybe to even do a JJ Logan double header down there was the plan. If I remember correctly, that was also around the injury issue with Logan. I think that came around that as well. But it was a few different things that factored into us moving away from the Australia idea. But we'll be going to Australia, that's for sure.
Next year.
Yeah, for sure.
So next year you got the plan of going to Canada, the Philippines, Australia. That sounds quite expensive ticket-wise.
You've got more information than me. What? Canada? Yes. Please, bring on Canada. Yeah, and Philippines love to as well, especially Salt Pappy, big part of our crew. Actually, Canada I've promoted in, Philippines never done. But those are on the list. Fred, I'm astounded at how much you know.
I'm really holding back because I know Mams is going to watch this and he's going to call me up.
Did you sleep under this couch and listen to all the calls? No, I mean, interesting. No, those are all places that will be done in good time. I can't say that those two countries are on the list for this year, but things can change quickly.
Do you think for Misfits, you want to take advantage of things that boxers or professional boxing doesn't do? For example, put on shows in other countries, because it's very rare that Matchroom go put on a show in Berlin or the Philippines, or that Frank Warren do the same thing. Do you think for Misfits, you want to stand out in that way, take advantage of that?
Well, you've got a younger demographic viewers here, but I've been doing it 23 years and I've done it in pretty much... So the Philippines I haven't, but I've done it in Japan and I've done it all over Asia. So I've actually gone all around the world and promoted fights. So I'm not scared of it. It's something that we will do because Misfits and this space in particular, we see it that it's grown so quickly. The numbers in certain areas, like we've got places that are popping up on our. And the nice thing about working with such a professional team at DAZN, we can see exactly where we're tracking high and where we need to work on, and where the real growth potential is. And you've just named two countries actually. So once again, you've got some inside information. Philippines and Canada will be seeing you soon, but there's others as well. Like I mentioned before, Scandinavia is really a big Misfits hot zone. Scandinavia, very hot. South Africa, very hot. Australia, very hot. Spain, very hot.
They are very hot places. They're nice weather.
Germany, very hot. I'm talking about on our radar. Yeah, they're not always hot. I mean, Spain's also cold. You can ski in Spain. It's obviously it's a growing brand. Again, we just joked about it, but that video that we put out was just over a year ago. Yeah, so we're growing very fast. but you know, we'll grow in a way that is you know is good for everyone who enjoys the brand. You know, we don't want, you know, we're not a boom and bust project. We're not just going to go and, you know, make stupid decisions which puts the company in danger. We will make decisions that make great events, and work on those events. And some things that people, you know, we'll also do things where we'll look back and say, nah, you know what, that didn't quite work, you know, and we'll go back and do that better, or we'll change it, you know, and that's part of a learning curve. And you know, the nice thing is it's a fresh space, it's a new space. People are quite forgiving.
They don't hold grudges.
They don't hold grudges. Well, you say that there are certain things that come out on Twitter and, you know, and then they viralise. But yeah, I'm used to that from normal boxing as well. You know, I've been called every name under the sun, and that's fine with me. If you've got an opinion about me, that's good.
Exactly. I always say it to people. I think I said to a message to Pappy the other day when he was getting a little bit of hate for his fight being 3 rounds. I was saying,
what was he getting hate for?
Because his fight's 3 rounds and people thought it was 4. So I said to him, as long as they're talking about you, it don't matter if they love you or they hate you. Just make sure they're watching.
It's you know, everyone's got an opinion. Like yeah, something else.
But you mentioned his countries here. Ibiza. Has any boxing show ever gone on there from any British promoters?
No,
Oh, really?
no.
Okay,
I don't think there's ever been a boxing show in Ibiza. Maybe there has been a small Spanish one. I'm not sure. I'm sure there's been a few fights in Ibiza, but I don't think any boxing fights. No, no. That's definitely a first one on the list.
Whose idea was Ibiza? Was it JJ's?
I think that was a communal one. Everyone just said we want to do Ibiza. There was one member of the board, which consists of the 3 of us.
You, Mams, and JJ.
Yeah, correct. One of us said Hawaii. It clearly wasn't me, because I said it's absolutely ridiculous in year 1. I won't say where that idea came from, but it came from someone in the board.
I love how, Kalle, you're like, I won't say where that idea came from, but you got Mams and JJ there.
So do you take it 50-50 on who said Hawaii? And I said, no, that is not a good business decision. But no, that's what it's you know, it's enthralling. You've obviously got 3 people from 3 very different spaces, but at the same time quite similar spaces. So it's, you know, there's always a constructive argument, and we often have constructive arguments, especially Mams and me. You know, when I see some of the ideas, I'm like, no, and then, you know, sometimes, you know, we argue. Sometimes I win, sometimes he wins. You know, sometimes he gets a bit sneaky and then sort of does it.
Moves the goalpost.
And moves the goalpost and sells it to me. He's very good at selling, Mams. And we go back 30 years, literally 30 years.
You were in a fight with Mams. Well, you and Mams didn't fight, but you had your friends and Mams has his friends, and the 2 teams fought each other.
We had 2 different crews, and they had the discussions between me and Mams. The next time we'll do a joint interview on this, because we have different opinions on this. He thinks that we actually there was a physical fight between, which there was, but I can't remember being in that fight and like seeing Mams in the middle of the fight like in a film, and no, I didn't go for him and he didn't go for me because we liked each other. I can't remember that part. He thinks that happened. I simply can't remember it. You know, probably it's part of my life. I couldn't remember too much.
We'll get Mams there next time. I'll go in the middle and we'll see what he's going to say.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Just on our Ibiza card, you do realise that everyone in boxing, in the professional boxing scene and media, are going to go, even if they're not fighting. Like, that's a massive. For the Ibiza card, I hope you guys realise everyone in boxing will go.
I think you know, the name Ibiza and Misfits go synonymously with each other. It's almost like a brand thing, isn't it? You know, it's not really about the card even. You know, it's like, whoa, there's a Misfits party going on in Ibiza. I said, do we actually have to do boxing? Can we just throw a Misfits party down there?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, which is like a collection of getting all the Misfits people. You know, like, you know, follow it like you, and you know, all the fighters get down there. You know, we all have a good time in Ibiza. We could do what you do in Ibiza.
Everyone will be wearing sunglasses all week.
I've got that now. I've got that song that I took a pill in Ibiza in my head. I wasn't replying to that, but I just suddenly got that in my head. So yeah, maybe we just do a party down there.
Well, you could do a few parties, or for a big art party, do a few parties during the week, I guess.
Or if we go back to our youths, maybe me and Mams actually just have a tear up. You know.
Well, Mams is always
We'll get a few big numbers on that one. JJ can be the ref.
Special guest referee, like they do in WWE. Mams is always talking about fighting, though. Not always, but on the phone, he's always like, Fred.
Mams does box every day, yeah, and it doesn't matter what's happening. I remember we had a meeting a couple of months ago on the ranch, and I love staying on his ranch because he's got these two amazing donkeys. Who one's mine. I've taken him over, and horses and everything else. But so we had like some Joe from DAZN there, but a very important partner of ours, and it's only like 4 o'clock. Mams has just gone, guys, I've just got to step out for a second. I'm thinking, like, what? Well, you know, I've flown in from London, he's flown in from New York, and we've got other people there. And I thought, okay, he's got to take a music caller. You know, we've also got other businesses as well. So it suited me fine. You know, we have a quick break. Anyways, suddenly I hear like from downstairs this Rocky music and like bags going. And I'm thinking, what? I thought we're alone here, yeah. And I walk downstairs, and there's Mams and Ricky Ray, his trainer, on the pads, and I'm like, hold on, we're in the middle of a meeting, you know. But no, he doesn't miss a session. I've got to say, he's in good shape.
Do you think he'll ever fight?
Watch out, Joe Weller. That's all I'll say.
That fight. Do you think Do you think that could be a pay-per-view co-main?
Okay, Fred. I'll be totally honest with you. I've got to relive this with you because this is no word of a lie. I was a crossover virgin, so to speak, at that stage. It was 001, right? I walked in. First of all, I'd seen the weigh-in the day before. It was a very physical weigh-in. You know, I remember having to get between Swarms and JJ, and you know, they were very physical. And people think that that's always a bit of a laugh, but actually it really is. It's because they don't back off. You know, in pro boxing, when you split them, they normally back off. This one, they try to go around the back. You know, I mean, Dean and Walid. You know, it's like, you know, you need an army between them. Yeah. But because in pro boxing they get taken away by the teams, this lot they all sort of sneak round the back again. So we had to go. I remember it was Evil Hero was Dean the Great, and I'm like, well, man, I can like these guys because they're quite small for me.
Agile,
so they're nippy, you know. I'm bigger than them, but I've got to sort of try and block them. We got the security who's jumped in, of course, at that stage, but they then go round the back and our security was also learning because they've done the biggest pro fights, you know, Anthony Joshua, it's the same team, but they were not used to these guys who were on another level. But when I walked in on, so I've done the pre-show for DAZN, and I've turned up, and it was terrible traffic. I was a bit late, and I hate being late, but I still made it on time. But I'm a bit flustered. I walked in, and there's Big Zoo, and he's with a guy, and it's no disrespect on Joe, but I didn't know who the fella was. So I walked in, and I thought he was a DAZN expert. So I'm there, and, you know, talking, and, you know, how are you, mate, and all that. And then Mams arrives, and then Mams is, like, come over, and he goes in his bull mode, and he's, like, looked at him, and I'm thinking, why is he looking at the DAZN guy? Like, and go and watch it back. Look at my face. I'm not the most uncomfortable position ever, because I'm thinking, what's this guy done to Mams? It's like, what you said wasn't right, and I'm thinking, what the hell is he talking about? Yeah, and I didn't realise this is the guy. He looked totally different for me, standing next to him, than when I'd seen him the day before. You know, with all the shit that happened at the weigh-in, and then suddenly they started grabbing each other up. Mams has sort of put something in, you know, put his finger in his throat. Mams has got lots of different fighting techniques, and then they're telling, let's go outside on the car park, and I'm thinking, this is like, I mean, welcome to crossover boxing. That was my baptism of fire. You know, it was never looked back from that moment on. It was crazy shit. The more I think about it now, I'm going to go watch it back tonight again and have a good laugh.
But do you think that can ever happen, Mams Taylor versus Joe Weller?
I'd love to put it on. Actually, I'm going to talk to Mams. We should make an offer. Joe Weller needs to make a comeback, and Mams wants to have his first Misfits fight. I think we do it.
What percent? It's 100% being it's on, 0% there's no chance. Where would you judge it?
I'd say probably around between 5 and 10%.
Oh, really, Kalle? Oh, you serious?
No, I'm not. Listen, Mams would do it in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. I've got no idea. It would have to obviously be at a weight. I've got no idea what Joe Weller weighs at the moment. Mams is trim. Mams is you're going to see him in London next week. Mams has been seriously working out. So, but yeah, no, Joe's a good. Joe and Mams would be a good fight. Yeah. But I don't know about the weights. I'm not sure about that.
Would that be? That couldn't headline. It would have to be like a co-main.
Well, that would depend. I mean,
actually, if it's the right promotion, yeah, that would be quite good. To be fair, if KSI got involved as well.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I mean, we could maybe even do like a tag team. You know, let's go crazy on this. You know, we could do Pineda. We can do Vamos and Mams against
Joe Weller and Theo Baker, because they're the two people that started the whole thing all those years ago.
Yeah, we could do that. There you go. Fred, you just come up with a great matchup. That's a great idea. We'll call Mams together after this and pitch it to him.
On camera as well. Then bleed the money.
There you go. You heard it here first, live and exclusive with Fred Beck.
We love it, Kalle. We love it. Just before we wrap up, we should probably touch on the 007 card. KSI Joe Fournier. It heated up. Everyone was kind of hating on Joe Fournier at the start, but then the Twitter space recently that happened with KSI, Dylan Dennis, and Joe Fournier. Everyone seems to start backing Joe Fournier now because he started having a go at Dylan Dennis.
Well, no, I'm not going to get involved in that. I'll let Mams comment on what happens on Twitter and spaces. I've just worked out how to get into these bloody Twitter spaces. But yeah, I see the comeback on it. I'll tell you what I think, right? Of having done 23 years of boxing, it's the first fight I'm nervous with JJ. It's the first fight where I feel like we're in a proper fight here. That's what I'd say. So from a sporting point of view, it's going to be very exciting next week because I think we're going to make a real statement. I think JJ's going to go make a real statement, but I also think it's the first, let's say, legit boxer, and that's with all due respect to FaZe Tempo, who's got a great fighting background, and you know we all know about the two fights in one night, and Logan at the time.
Is Pineda not a legit boxer?
But just a second. Pineda he's a pro boxer, but he's not a pro boxer who's held a WBA intercontinental title or international title. That is the point where, okay, traditional boxing fans watching this will probably say, well, how did he get that title and whatever? It don't matter. He was WBA international champion. Now, Tommy Fury certainly weren't WBA international champion before that, and I can't remember anyone else in this space holding a proper WBA title of any sort. Yeah, no. So yes, absolutely. This is for me a real test, but essential to achieving legacy. And he's going to smash Joe Fournier next week. But it's a real statement. But it's the first one that, of course, you know, we can put all the bravado talk on, and you know, obviously we're Team JJ, but it's a proper fight. So it's something where, again, no disrespect to anyone else before, it was the JJ show, wasn't it? It was the KSI show, yeah, and people come and love and watch that. But now we're entering deep waters, and that's a different feeling for me around that fight. You know, I admit I look at most of those fights. I don't really care who wins. It's just entertainment for me. It's sensational entertainment. I'm so excited about Deji Swarms. Just the way, look at Swarms now. Look at the way Swarms was when he fought against KSI last year. This man has lived and breathed boxing. I know because he's training in a camp where I've got pro boxers training. Yeah, he's training with the likes of Josh Kelly, Abbas Baru, Harlem Eubank, you know, some prop Mick Conlon. So he's living the life of a boxer suddenly. Yeah, from, you know, let's face it, the guy who turned up, he looked like, you know, South East London rapper. Yeah, which he was, you know. But at the same time, what I like about Swarms is exactly what KSI put out recently is, don't forget, you're also an influencer. You're a YouTuber. You're in this space because you're a public persona in that. You're not here by the virtue of you've had 400 amateur fights and you've won them all, and you're sitting there and you're going to be world champion. No, this is a crossover boxing space, but that's a great fight. I think Salt Pappy, Anthony Taylor. Talking about Taylor's, Mams Taylor, he pulled one out the bag there. Absolutely fantastic fight, that. Fantastic fight. And I agree. I'd like to see it over 4 rounds. But when you get 3 rounds, it means Anthony Taylor as well, who people would say, well, Salt wants that over 3 rounds because has he got the stamina for the 4th round? Yeah. Okay, go back, look at the Idris Virgo fight and watch Taylor gas. Right? He gasses. Yeah? So he knows as well, he'll like that because he's got 3 rounds. It's a big difference. Yeah? It won't sound much to the viewer, but that's 25% less, which you can throw into those rounds. So if they're going to come at each other hell for leather, which you're doing a 4-rounder anyways, compared to a 12-round world championship fight. So it's always exciting watching shorter fights because it's, you've got that only a limited amount of time to take your, but you've also got, I've only got so much stamina in. It's like a Street Fighter, You've got to make sure that your stamina is going to survive the 4 rounds. Hey, they've got 3 rounds, so the kitchen sink's going to come flying at each other here. I mean, not the actual kitchen sink. I mean, this.
How you have to correct that.
Yes, exactly. Well, just in case people are going to try and misquote me there.
Just one more thing, a question on the card. How come that's not the O2 Arena and it's Wembley Arena?
Very simple. In London and in Manchester and a lot of other venues, we talked about different venues before we got on air, didn't we? It's about where you get the dates. It's as simple as that. Yeah, we've got we've got 2 dates held in the O2 for later this year. But we hold them because we don't even know if we can use them. But they're like gold dust. It's the same with Manchester Arena, same with Wembley Arena. You just got to get lucky. You've got to make sure it fits with the boxer's schedule, the DAZN schedule, of course. And ultimately then you've got to find the venue. So it's a little bit where you want to go. I must say Wembley Arena is the most traditional place in the UK. I went to my first concert there 30-something years ago, 33 years ago. Still the same. It's always got a great atmosphere. It's going to be absolutely packed to the rafters. It will be an absolute sellout.
Is it nearly sold out?
Yeah, we're at pretty much the stage where I think Monday's a sellout. I'm hoping we get what we're doing fight week. Normally we'll get back some like 300-400 tickets from production, but that's not 100%. So yeah, a few tickets left, but not many. It will be an absolute sellout, and you'll see the atmosphere will be the same as 001 and 005 as well.
You said there you got the O2 Arena booked out. Because you said there earlier you got the O2 Arena booked out twice this year. Well, there's only one. It's only one.
I shouldn't have said that.
But it's only one London show, which is August. So how does that make sense?
Why did I say that? Well, obviously, look, we're looking past. Look, JJ has to go take care of business, but we have to also take care of looking at the future. So we look. It's not going to happen, but of course, it could be a Fournier rematch. I'm not saying it's going to happen because we're going to absolutely smash the lights off the ceiling on Saturday next week, live on DAZN. But at the same time, what's next? A lot of talk about Salt Pappy, a lot of talk about Tommy Fury, a lot of talk about. Who else was mentioned? Was Dylan Dennis now is suddenly hugely high on the radar again. I have my reservations around that. Given
he sent me a text on Instagram the other day, Dylan Dennis.
It's just the circumstances around the way the first fight was pulled on New Year's Eve. So there was a bit of pill to swallow. I understand, he wasn't in a good place, whatever. I don't know, I didn't actually, but those are, let's say, the three fights that this world, this space. Or you tell me, Fred. Those are the three fights that people are really talking about most for JJ next. So those are, of course, all fights that arguably some of them stadium fights, but in that time of the year also you'd probably be looking at doing it indoors. I'd like to do it at Tottenham, but
KSI's an Arsenal fan.
JJ's not having that. I got flatly turned down. No, Arsenal. Tottenham is the only pitch where you can do it during the season.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because they got that NFL pitch that comes in and out.
I didn't know that.
I don't know how it works exactly, but that's fantastic. Great,
August,
great club, great stadium.
August isn't football season though, is it?
No. But maybe it's not August. Fred, you know our business better than I do. I mean, it's incredible. But no, I mean, we've had some really good talks with Tommy, and well, not with Tommy, but with John. Who's the main man over there, and then they're boxing people, which helps from my side of things. So we're looking at that, and there's a lot of demand around the Salt Pappy fight. I know that, but he has a tough fight next week. It's a very, very tough fight. Anthony Taylor's certainly not coming to make up the numbers. And then Dylan Dennis, but. So from a boxing point of view, I'd love to see the Tommy Fury fight. Yeah. I mean, that would be like those two names in the UK. That's would be something very, very special, of course. But to get things agreed, and most importantly, JJ has to get by Joe Fournier next week again. Boxing levels. We can talk about Tommy, and it's obviously a great result against Jake Paul. But if you look at from the pro side of things, you could make a very strong case that Joe Fournier is a more successful pro than Tommy. So he won a WBA international championship. So but of course, to go and have that fight with Tommy would be very, very interesting.
Is Tommy going to KSI versus Joe Fournier?
I'm not sure. I don't think security will turn down John if he turns up. We'll march through security, so I'm not sure. We'll only know last minute. You'll never know when John's going to pop up. So I mean, we got the guest list is insane again. I mean, I've done shows for many, many years and seen some fantastic celebrities at these events, but it's like the especially in that YouTube space, it is like the Oscars. All these Misfits shows. I think the list is so crazy next week. Please, any of my friends, please do not message me for tickets. I have run out last week.
Joe Fournier was a backup opponent for KSI versus Blaze Temper, I believe. So who's the backup opponent for KSI Joe Fournier in May?
Well, given that the fight is in 8 days' time, Fred, I guess I'm the backup. I know Mams and me will have to draw short straws because I definitely don't fancy fighting JJ. No, I think we'll send Mams in. Yeah,
I'm sure I'll do quite well actually.
Mams is the backup. Mams is the backup. JJ. If Fournier does a Dennis on us, Mams is going in.
Is there no backup though?
No, I mean, we're through the sparring. Actually, sparring for them have both finished today or tomorrow. So, there would still be time. We've had late switches in lots of big fights in traditional boxing and crossover boxing, but both fit. Both, as we've seen, very, very, very excited. So, no, from that point, it wouldn't make sense to have a backup at this stage. But of course, there are names on the card that could quickly jump in. I'll say no more.
I think this is a question for us after the fight, because as soon as you mentioned her, I put a tweet out on Twitter, be like, "Oh, Blast the backup.
I think it's, I don't want to, but of course we always have a backup plan. It's been around for too long not to have a backup plan. But I'm not going to come out and say the backup, what the backup plan is. But at the same time, what I would say is both guys are raring to go, and I think it's going to be, as I said, I think it's going to be a spectacle. The card from the prelims, which we're doing,
a lot of good women fights as well on this one.
Yeah, but I think the whole card has got some of the prelims, but which is starting very early, by the way. I think it's 5:20 local time, so UK time 5:20 in the afternoon, and it's going to be a long night of entertainment.
That's actually true. I just realised I forgot Keemstar put the Happy Punch prelims on. Like, I normally leave the arena around 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock time, or 3 o'clock time. So that's like nearly 10 hours of the whole arena. That's a lot.
It's basically it's 2 hours earlier than what we're used to, and that's great. I think working together with Misfits together with DAZN, I've put on some great stuff so far. We've put amazing content out there. And I think working together with Happy Punch on those prelims is the first time we're doing it. So hoping to see huge numbers on that. And then, of course, we go on to the pay-per-view version of it, which, especially in the UK, you'll be very happy to see the pricing on that in the UK. DAZN.com, very easy to sign up. And you're gonna just see that when it gets put out, it's going to be very accessible and very affordable and very fair.
One last thing before I let you get on the rest of the day. HBO used to put on great documentaries called 24/7, and I think the Merva De La Hoya ones, Merva Cotto ones, it was always very good promotion.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought of doing anything document-like series for Misfits, for the fighters as it builds up? I know UFC do a great job. They got these things called the Embeddeds. I don't know if you've heard of them before. Yeah. And it's like a documentary that goes every day.
24/7. I've started a few 24/7.
The embedded ones as well for UFC are good.
No, I mean, there's look, are we going to do that sort of series?
It seems silly not to, doesn't it?
I don't know. Is the sun yellow? Yes, absolutely, of course. Can I give something away on it now? Think Ranch. I'll say no more.
So I guess that's the thing that for the future then, documentary things.
But Fred, once again, this is our 7th event since last August. We haven't stopped. Yeah, people talk about this company's come in and done an event. Wow, they've done an event. Oh, fantastic. We've done 7 since last August. Not even since August is unfair because it was like the last 2 days of August. Since last September, we've done 7 events. Yeah, so. I probably slept an average of 2.5 hours a day. And Mams, I don't think, has slept at all since last August, actually. We are grinding day in, day out to put on these shows. So we're not prepared to let someone else just go off and do that. No, everything we want really wants to come from us. And JJ has such a, he's the greatest YouTuber on earth. So we want his input, especially in that area, and he's so many great ideas, and everything you see is authentic. When you see Misfits, it's authentic. It's not, we've gone to some company and said, right, go and put on a series for us. You're not going to see that. What you'll see with us is authentic. It will be real. And by the way, it might not be even a Hollywood production that you're talking about 24/7. Actually, that series over there, the viewers can't see it, but on the wall over there, that World Boxing Super Series Classic I did with Showtime years ago. They had a great series with it. Showtime did it as well. But I think when you're going to see the Misfits series, it's going to be a different take on things because we do it a bit differently, and they're going to be extremely high end, but they're going to be with a Misfits angle on it, and that for us, we're not in a rush like that. It seems like we're in a rush because we've done 7 events since last September, but the events is the key, the content. But of course, we've got loads of things not to improve on because we haven't started yet, but to build into this. You're going to see, everything from more merch. But you're gonna have different things available for the fans to interact more.
You guys can't have red sweatshirts unless it's got the Fred Beck logo on.
I know you've painted the colour red, and you're very lucky because I'm a Tottenham fan. You'll have to argue with JJ because I'm sure he'll probably want everything in red, being an Arsenal fan. But I certainly wouldn't want red and white. No, definitely not.
That's fair enough. I like it because Misfits, they think outside the box, and that's quite rare nowadays, I think. I think that's why everyone's quite... It just gets a lot of criticism, but like I said earlier, as long as people are talking about it, it can only mean the world. Yeah,
but it's like I see, other movements in this space. That's all great, and I see quick bucks trying to be earned here and there. Man, this ain't a marathon. Sorry, I'm going to say that. Let me. I lost my little line there. I see loads of moves happening in this space. This ain't a sprint. It's a marathon. So we're going to get through this, but we're going to do it our way. We're going to keep on putting on great shows. We're going to make mistakes along the way. We're going to improve on those mistakes. We're going to learn from those mistakes. We're going to also have wins. We've had loads of wins when I think of 2 fights in one night, mystery opponent, tag team, Mr. Pizza. It was still, just he spilled pizza all over my brand new suede shoes, but never mind. Really? Yeah, he did actually. I wasn't too happy about it. I will make him clean them next time I see him. I've kept them so he can clean them. No, joking. It's like, look, so there's lots of hits, but we'll also take misses and we'll learn from them and we'll see what fans love and feedback's great. But make it negative. If you don't like something, tell us. Say you don't like it. Don't worry, my skin's thicker than ever. I'm an old warhorse. I can take it.
Well, I imagine you used to get like 30-year-olds texting you, lower the pay-per-view price, why are you putting that fight on? Now you get the 12-year-olds texting you on Instagram and saying, you suck, KSI will beat Jake Paul, that sort of thing. Yeah. The age demographic has probably changed quite a lot.
I've got like a buffer between it, and it's called Mams Taylor, so they put it onto Mams, and they leave me out of it. But no, look, at the end of the day, it is what it is. I mean, it's... what I would say is if you look at the content that's provided, I think it's extremely good value. And like I said, wait to see the announcement on the pay-per-view in the UK next week. I think everyone will be delighted.
I'm not about to let you go, but I've just remembered one thing. I heard Chase Demore say in an interview or on a podcast, just on Twitter, there's going to be a Misfits boxing video game. Do you have any comment on that whatsoever?
Well, I think we'd be fools if we wouldn't do it. But once again, there's only 24 hours in the day last time I checked. And we work in very fast strides, but at the same time, we're not going to go and give up control. And, we want this to be authentic because it's also like, that's what the fans want. That's what, that's what I bought into coming on board of this project was JJ's love for his genuine, authentic love for doing this space and being involved in boxing, and not only boxing, but he wants to promote beyond his career as well, which is very different to any of the other guys who are at that level out there. So it's something that will come, but when it comes, I like to keep things a little bit more under wraps and then come out with it with a big bang.
Mm-hmm. And you're going to be in it.
I'm going to be in it. I certainly hope not. I don't think anyone wants me in it.
No, of course you'll be. You're a promoter, of course you'll be. Mams in it as well.
Me and Mams will be in it. I saw a fantastic cartoon with Mams and me in it. Actually,
was it the Simpsons lookalike one?
Yeah, that was. Yeah, I saw the Simpsons lookalike one. It was actually my son who pointed out who I was. I thought I looked like something out of The Sopranos or something. I didn't. I saw I saw Mams standing next to me. Mams looks funny on that one, although the hat's very cool. It's a bit unfair on Mams, that one, but yeah, no, that was very good. I've seen a few other illustrations. I mean, I've got to say the creativity of the people in this space, like people, man, there's so many talented people who should be putting effort into doing what they're doing because they're sending us some great stuff. And some of them who send us stuff in, we hook up and we're starting to work on some designs with people who are just literally sending stuff in. So keep them coming.
That's a smart thing to do. If you're a fan, do smart work, send it over, and you know what could happen.
And I think that we're in a very young space, in a very edgy space, and you've got to look outside the box always. Keep it fresh.
Awesome. That sounds pretty good then. And before we left off, anything you want to add before we finish off?
Just very excited. Next week, 007, KSI, can he do it? Take Joe Fournier out, former WBA international professional boxing champion. Can he take him out? I certainly believe so. Tune in to DAZN next week, Saturday, from Wembley Arena, plus lots more.
Awesome. That sounds pretty good. Kalle, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, mate. Nice one.